In this lecture, we are going to discuss 5 main points, which are: first, business markets; second, business buying situations; third, participants in the business buying process; fourth, the business buying process; fifth, procurement. E for electronic, of course. Business markets. You should differentiate between two issues: business by behavior of organizations that buy goods and services for use in production of other products and services that are sold or rented or supplied to others. The other issue is the business buying process, which can be defined as the decision process by which business buyers determine which products and services their organizations need to purchase, and then find, evaluate, and choose among alternative suppliers and brands. Note that the business market is bigger than the consumer markets and differs in many ways. The business markets consist normally with less but larger buyers than consumer markets. Note that business demand is derived demand, which means business demand ultimately derives from the demand for consumer goods. And a business market's demand is more inelastic and is less affected by short-term price changes, while demand also fluctuates more quickly. Note that the nature of buying unit involves more decision participants and a more professional purchasing effort. The business buyer's decisions are often more complex and formalized. Finally, buyer and seller often work on longer-term relationships. Also, supplier development, which can be defined as the systematic development of networks of supplier partners to ensure an appropriate and dependable supply of products and materials for use in making products or reselling them to others. Business buying situations. There are 3 types of business buying situations. First one is straight rebuy. Is a business buying situation in which the buyer routinely reorders something without any modifications. The second one is a modified rebuy. Is when the buyer wants to modify the product specifications or prices or terms or suppliers. The third one is a new task. Is a business buying situation in which the buyer purchases a product or service for the first time. Also, you should know what is called systems selling or solutions selling, which is buying a package solution to a problem from a single seller, thus avoiding all the separate decisions involved in a complex buying situation. Participants in the business buying process. There are multiple participants in the business buying process. Simply, there is what you can call the buying center, which means all the individuals and units that play a role in the purchase decision-making process. Those participants are: first, users, which are members of the buying organization who will actually use the purchased product or service. Two, influencers are people in an organization's buying center who affect the buying decision. They often help define specifications and also provide information for evaluating alternatives. Three, buyers are the people in an organization's buying center who make an actual purchase. Four, deciders are people who have formal or informal power to select or approve the final suppliers. Finally, gatekeepers are people in an organization's buyer center who control the flow of information to others. So, the buying center is a set of buying rules assumed by different people. Also note that there are a lot of things that can influence the business buyer, such as environmental factors. These can include the economic environment and the supply of key materials and culture and customs. Also, there are organizational factors such as objectives, systems, and policies can also have an influence, of course. Also, interpersonal factors such as authority, status, can exercise their influence. Finally, individual factors such as age, income, education, and risk attitudes can play a role in the decision of the business buyer. The business buying process. The business buying process has 8 stages. 1. Problem recognition. Someone in the company recognizes a problem or need that can be met by acquiring a good or a service. 2. General need description is the stage in the business buying process in which a buyer describes the general characteristics and the quantity of a needed item. 3. Product specification is the stage in the business buying process in which the buying organization decides on and specifies the best technical product characteristics for needed item. 4. Supplier search is the stage in which the buyer tries to find the best vendors. 5. Proposal solicitation is the stage in which the buyer invites qualified suppliers to submit proposals. 6. Supplier selection is the stage in which the buyer reviews proposals and select a supplier or suppliers. 7. Order routine specification is the stage in which the buyer writes the final order with the chosen supplier or chosen suppliers, listing the technical specifications, quantity needed, expected time of delivery, return policies, and warranties. 8. And the final stage is performance review. Is the stage in which the buyer assesses the performance of the supplier and decided to continue or modify or drop the arrangement. E-procurement, or of course, for electronic. E-procurement involves purchasing through electronic connections between buyers and sellers, usually online, of course. This can be via reverse auctions, trading exchanges, company buying sites, and extranet links. Benefits of e-procurement are lower transaction costs and efficient purchasing. Note that you should know two important concepts in this lecture. First, the institutional market, which consists of schools, hospitals, nursing homes, prisons, and other institutions that provide goods and services to people in their care. These markets can be extensive and are often characterized by low budgets. The second concept is the government markets, which consists of governmental units, federal, state, or even local, that purchase or rent goods and services for carrying out the main functions of government.